This is one of the interviews we are conducting with our colleagues, peers from coaching and training community. So thank you very much, Dunja, for being with us today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here with you.
Would you like to present yourself to us?
I'm by education psychologist. I'm also a psychotherapist with, let's say, almost 10 years of experience in business in the area of human resources. And I would say that my passion was always been somehow connecting, working with people and on their development throughout either some psychotherapeutic intervention or working within the company as an HR business partner or learning and development specialist, but learning, growing, and that interest in helping people to strive and reach their full potential is something that was always, I think, was always there within me. So maybe when I think of some metaphor, I don't know about myself, but maybe about the process when I'm working with people, either as a coach or trainer or a therapist. I like that metaphor. I do not remember now from which book it is, but that actually throughout all of these interventions, we are actually helping people who are those beautiful pictures. We are helping them to put some sort of a frame in terms of really functional one, nice one that would enable this picture to be fully viewed in its full potential and beauty. And somehow this is how I also see these developmental interventions, especially coaching. Like there's already so much within clients and coaches that we are working with, but we are just here to help them to even flourish more and to be able to reach and use their full potential. So, yeah.
Beautiful. I can totally relate with the picture you described. And when you're talking about flourishing and growth, I will come back to the title of our project, which is well-being. How do you generally describe well-being? Since you told us you have this different professional role from being a psychotherapist, coach, but trainer, also HR person. So combining these roles, what would you say?
Yeah, I think the most plain one and easy to comprehend is actually when our well-being is there, we are feeling good within ourselves. So we are fine with where we are, who we are, what we are doing. It's connected to the sense of purpose of work that we are doing. It's connected with our values. So we are actually satisfied and happy with the quality of life that we are living, both professionally and personally. And I think that this segment of living life that is really meaningful for us, connected with our values, and that while we are, of course, learning, growing throughout the whole life, that we are actually not overwhelmed with it, that we are fine throughout this process, and that we are having this sense of satisfaction and joy. And even when we are in some positions where there is some difficulties or challenges, that we are able to cope, recharge ourselves, be aware when are those moments when we need to maybe slow down, stop, recharge, ask for help. So yeah, basically building our resilience.
Yeah. And this is topic worldwide, and I would say for general public, very important during this decade, I would say, or last few years. But also well-being is a topic in business also environment more often. So I'm wondering, do you see any connection between coaching as methodology or way of helping people and well-being as a subject for all of us people?
Yes, of course, I see the connection because basically what is the difference between coaching and maybe psychotherapy is that in coaching, we are assuming that people are already functioning on the optimal level. So they're really able to use their skills, cognitive resources, behaviors, and everything. So they're already, functioning on the optimal level, and we are here to help them to reach maybe the striving moment, to maybe overcome some obstacles that are arriving. And in that sense, I think that coaching can help in sort of a way in two directions. As an intervention, either we are working on performance coaching within the organizational leadership or career coaching transition, we actually can support these people to actually build sort of a resilience and to be aware, to use their full potential, to overcome some barriers and actually prevent going into some parts of this dimension of well-being that are already struggling, or we can prevent actually arrival of some more severe emotional states like high levels of anxiety, depression, and so on, because we are treating and discussing with coaches, let's say, early. At this stage, this is a sort of a prevention. So, for example, if we are working with someone who is new on some role, is freshly promoted, there are all sorts of things that can be challenging. New skills, new tasks are required, some systemic, let's say, challenges that are arriving, or some inner challenges. And then if the person, we are actually giving a space and time for people to reflect, be aware, use that, and inline what is outcome, not only reaching some goals and action steps, but actually people are reaching higher levels of stress management, self-awareness, effectivity, self-actualization throughout the coaching processes. This is the one part in terms of prevention. So addressing some challenges when they're still at the beginning, let's say, and not letting them to become a burden. But on the other hand, also addressing some challenging and transformational times in terms when maybe there are also some layoffs, in the sense of what is becoming global trend in some companies, of course, because of the crisis. Okay, how to handle then those situations, what are the options, and so on. Again, helping people to build up resilience and let's say broaden their perspective even in those type of situations. So definitely. And even when we are talking about performance coaching, as I said, business coaching, at the end we are coming to the basic needs, how this person is viewing themselves in the world, what are the basic values, what is giving them the self of purpose, engagement, and those are all of the things that are connected to our inner experience of well-being.
How would you say is connected coaching with your training practice particularly? Yeah.
Well, I think when I started to learn about coaching, it really in sort of a way shifted my mindset in terms of really becoming more present within everything I do. So even more present and more partnering throughout also the maybe psychotherapeutic interventions also, but in the everyday line of communication with people, in my even parent role, really being there, hearing, listening, and including the other person in the room. But of how coaching mindset is helping me throughout the training is actually to really be very creative on the spot during the training and partnering also with a group of people who are here attending the training. What do I mean? Yes, of course, in the trainings, we do have some prepared agenda that we want to cover. We are giving advices, we are explaining something, teaching, of course, which is different than coaching, pure coaching. But we still do have an option to really react on the spot with the participants in order, do they need something additional towards what we planned, to include their feedback throughout the training process, even on some sessions, to partner, maybe to have, in your head several maybe options or scenarios, and then partner with participants. Okay, I'm offering you, or we can go this way, this way, this way. What is more beneficial for you? And that part was something that I really gained by using coaching and having this coaching mindset implemented. One more thing is arriving to my mind. It's actually the benefit of group coaching in terms of like an intervention, in terms of really reaching higher quality of your training process. In order, for what we know is actually that people sometimes struggle when they even listen to some trainings, they have explained some topics, but really with implementation of that knowledge within their context, and offering some sort of additional, let's say, part of your training process as a sort of group coaching sessions with participants, like a follow-up. I think it's very beneficial for the participants, at least from my experience. With this matter, we are actually building this bond between the peers or the people who are participants, and we are also engaging people not only, learning by, listening, by training. We know that much more is learned by doing, and this is the part of experimentation also that we are using from coaching mindset within the training process, but also in terms of peer learning, sharing feedback. This is also a very important part of learning. So we are actually then, like in coaching, using all of the flavors of the resource that are there for the best of the participants.
You're talking about general coaching mindset, which helped you being more present, helped you being a better trainer. But on the other hand, you're talking about the benefits of using coaching for the coaches or trainees. Now, for the purpose of interview, you had to choose like maybe one technique that you find lovely to implement or embed in training context, and it's not that hard, even like it's easy to use it in training context, and it's a coaching technique. What would you suggest?
Using scaling like a tool to help us throughout the training process understand. So at the beginning, where are participants now in line of understanding or reaching this competence they would like to reach? Then having that also like in the middle of the process, let's see where we are. This is both beneficial for us as trainers to know how we are reaching the goal, but also for the participants. And it's also opening in terms of line of feedback that maybe then our trainees are more willing to share what would they need more in order to reach this desired state. And then, of course, at the end of the process, and also reaching then the opportunity to maybe discuss what was good, what could be better, what do they need more, and so on. Because I think this part of constantly receiving feedback, but also throughout the process, is helping us to really, as we said, be present, partner with the trainees, adjust what we are offering on the spot, be creative and inventional throughout the process. But also, this is something that is helping us in terms of continuous development for some next cohorts that are coming, and what are the learnings there. So this is one very simple
it's a
technique,
great tool which helps
useful.
in the same time coachee self-reflect on the learning process, and on the other hand helps coach or trainer to avoid pre-templated coaching and create a great coaching training experience for each trainee or great. If you roll back in time when you were a trainer and you were becoming or already a psychotherapist, but you weren't a coach, like is there any advice you would give trainers who are just entering and researching a field of coaching?
With coaching, we are really, I think, reaching this mindset, a really growth mindset in terms of that then what I gained most certainly is this sort of a way of being more comfortable with the experimentation. And this is, I think, the main metaphor in terms of let's see what we can learn, what is something that we want to unlearn, which was also a very important conclusions, like some things that were learned before and were maybe an obstacles for further development, but actually to be really trying to be more open to this part of experimentation and being creative throughout the process and maybe a bit more playful.
Yeah. My general experience is after some time, the training and everything, with using coaching, it gets easier and more enjoyable because of your presence there, I would say.
Yes, presence, yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Good.
And really becoming more comfortable, with improvising on the spot, but in a sense, improvising with the purpose to better react on the needs of your trainees.
Thank you. Thank you very much for participating in this interview. It was lovely hearing your answers, and we will meet again.